Hey, beautiful people. So, in this video, I want to share with you what I would do in the next 3 to 6 months if I wanted to move abroad. And I'll be sharing from the lens of someone who is currently living abroad, meaning who has left the US. And I've been living abroad with my family since 2024. We left, my husband and I, we left with our 10-month-old at the time, and we're currently also expecting. And we've been pretty much based in Thailand, but have been like slow traveling throughout Southeast Asia. But I've been traveling for the past decade, and so I want to share from just a normal person's perspective, right, of what I would do if I wanted to move in 3 to 6 months. And I know 3 to 6 months from a realistic perspective or point of view, it seems like tomorrow. It seems like such a short period of time, but it can be done. When my husband and I decided to move abroad, we did the planning stage of things took really 30 to 60 days, really. Like we were out of there. And so I am going to share with you what I would do, right? The first thing is, by the way, y'all, out here is hot. So I'm going to try to go through this video as quickly as possible and as non-sweaty as possible. My mic is still on. Okay. But anyway, one of the first things that I would do is I would first decide. Okay. First decide before you even start planning. I know, you may be thinking, oh, you need to plan and all of this. Yes, planning is a part of it, but it starts with the mindset, right? Of first deciding that this is what you're actually going to do and not choosing, okay? Because choosing and deciding, it sounds the same, it seems similar. They are similar, but they're two different things. So when you choose to do something, choosing is more value based, right? It's value driven and it's like preference based, right? So choosing is preference based and value driven, and deciding is conclusion based and action driven, which means that once you decide to do something, it's a wrap. It's a done deal. There's hardly anything that's going to change your mind, right, from that thing that you've already decided to do. Okay. And it's action driven. So the planning stage is going to be even easier. It's going to make the planning more smoother because you've already decided that this is what you're going to do versus it just being a choice. A choice is just preference. Like, yeah, I would prefer to live, my choice or my preference is to live here than to live here. But deciding, it's a wrap. And so it starts with the mindset of deciding that this is what you're going to do regardless of the challenges that may come with it. Because if you don't decide when challenges come, you may just say, okay, forget it. This was my choice. I would have preferred to live here, but forget it. So the first thing that I would do is decide that this is what I'm going to do for these reasons. Whether you want to have a better quality of living, right? Whether you are tired of, I don't know, the weather, most people don't just move abroad for the sake of weather, but whether you're tired of microaggressions, maybe the cost of living, just like the lifestyle, the rat race type of lifestyle, whatever that reason is for you and your family, decide that you are leaving and these are the reasons why you're leaving. And then you start to plan. Now, when it comes to the planning stage, don't overthink things. Now, it may sound contradicting because it's like, okay, when it comes to planning, you want to make sure that you're crossing all your T's and you're dotting all your I's, right? But once we start to overthink, it makes things more complicated, okay? I'm going to actually give you some practical examples and things that we have done as well, because I don't want this video to just be like surface level. First things first, if you have a home, let's start there. Let's just jump right into that, okay? Without any fluff. If you own a home and that's one of your biggest or bigger assets that you're worried about, I am telling you right now that it is still possible to move abroad even with a home. Okay, I bought my first home at 23, and I eventually moved out of that home, rented it out, put it on short-term rental on Airbnb, moved out of state. So don't ask me how I did it, but eventually, after a few years of living in that property, I decided to move out of it, make it a full-time business, and we were able to manage that property out of state. I was able to manage that property. I bought the home before I got married or anything. I was only 23, and then eventually got married, and we were able to run it out of state because we implemented the right systems, the right people, cleaners, automated systems, different things like that. If you don't want to do short-term rental because you are away, it can be a little bit more complex. I understand that. You can just rent it out long-term and just get a property manager who will manage the collection of the rent, or if something were to go wrong, like plumbing or whichever, your tenants aren't calling you while you're abroad or while you're traveling. They reach out to the property management company and they take care of it. And typically, how that would work is the property management company would get usually a percentage of the rent. So whether that's